Pope Francis said that Ukraine should courageously raise the white flag to negotiate to end the conflict with Russia that has lasted more than 2 years. The person who cares for the people, the person who has the courage to raise the white flag and start negotiations is really strong, Pope Francis said in an interview with Swiss TV channel RSI in February. The Pope added, "Negotiation is a word of courage. When you see yourself failing, when things are not going well, you must have the courage to negotiate. One can feel ashamed, but if one does not, so how many more people will die before it's all over?" He said that negotiations between Russia and Ukraine can be promoted by international intermediaries, and the fact that there are currently many countries willing to act as intermediaries. For example, Turkey and other countries. One should not be ashamed of negotiations, this will prevent the worst from happening. It takes real courage not to push the country to commit suicide, the Pope said, adding that negotiations do not mean surrender. When asked if he was ready to play a mediating role, the Pope said, "I am always ready." This is probably the first time Pope Francis has used the phrase white flag or defeated when discussing the Russia-Ukraine war, although he had previously called for the parties to negotiate. In 2023, he sent peace envoy Matteo Zuppi to Kiev, Moscow, and Washington to call on the leaders of these countries to promote negotiations to end the conflict in Ukraine. The administration of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has not yet commented on the Pope's proposal. Mr. Zelensky has repeatedly stated that he wants peace but will never make concessions to Russia regarding territory. At the end of 2022, he proposed a plan called a 10-point peace formula, which requires Russia to withdraw all troops and restore territorial integrity to Ukraine before resuming peace talks. On the Russian side, the Kremlin affirmed that Moscow never refused to negotiate, but did not accept negotiations on Kiev's terms. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has entered its 3rd year and shows no signs of ending. After Ukraine's unexpected summer counteroffensive, Russia now dominates the battlefield. Kiev's situation is even more difficult when Western military aid stagnates. Last month, Mr. Zelensky said that since the conflict broke out, about 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers and tens of thousands of civilians have died. Despite current difficulties, he announced that Ukraine is preparing for a new counteroffensive and will never give up territory.